From Zlatan being a nice guy to a player auditioning for the WWE, these are the 25 moments players showed 100% sportsmanship. And first, the time Jonny Howson rescued an injured pigeon.
There might be a problem here with a bird, is it, which is on the pitch? Yeah. Oh, look at that.
Damn, Howson might be the nicest guy in football, but at number 24, Cristiano Ronaldo helped a crippled guy. Doing this to your opponent in the middle of a World Cup match? No wonder everyone calls him the GOAT. But at number 23, a player auditioned for the WWE. Nah, I'm just joking, man. This dude saw his opponent falling awkwardly and decided to help him land safely. I cannot imagine what would have happened if he had intervened. But at number 22, a player hugged an old man on live TV. After being wrestled to the ground, Brandon Williams was ready to throw hands. But when he realized it was Eriksson, he hugged him instead. You might be wondering why he did that. Well, a year earlier, Eriksson almost lost his life while playing for his national team.
Play is going to be halted again, and this does look serious.
It took 9 months of treatment and rehab to be able to get back on the pitch.
Ikke fordi jeg ligesom ønskede, at folk skulle sende blomster, fordi jeg ligesom var død i 5 minutter. Så det var sådan lidt, det var specielt, det var meget specielt. Men igen, det var sødt, at folk ville, og det igen, altså det har kun hjulpet, at der er kommet så mange best wishes.
And because Williams knew all about his injuries, he had to show him some love.
Felt like he needed a hug.
Sportsmanship like this is so cool to see, but it's even cooler when players show love to referees. In the 86th minute of the match between Roma and Frosinone, referee Matteo Marchetti suddenly fell to the ground, but before the doctors could rush to his aid, Houssem Aouar assisted in relieving his pain.
And Soler, referee's down. Well, you don't see that every day, do you, Manuel Pascali?
To be fair, I've never seen something like that.
That means no more yellow cards for Houssem Aouar again. Still, as nice as this moment was, it couldn't make it into our top 20, because still to come, Zlatan being nice, and Ronaldo getting a standing ovation. But before we get to those, we have to see one of the most bizarre handshakes ever.
Now this one might surprise you. You see,
after signing for Chelsea from Leicester, Conte and his new teammates visited his old stomping ground. And as soon as he saw his former coach, he took off his gloves so that he could shake him respectfully. From the way he held him in a headlock, you could tell they had a good relationship. But one thing you probably weren't expecting to see is Zlatan being nice.
I'm not joking.
After Stefan Ruffier's error resulted in a goal, Zlatan Ibrahimovic decided to console the goalkeeper instead of running to celebrate with his teammates. Damn, even lions could be as gentle as doves if they wanted to.
Yourself on the pitch as believing you were a lion. Is that right?
I am a lion.
You are a lion.
For me, I like a striker that makes the difference. Lukaku is strong, Aguero is good.
You didn't say yourself. I was expecting you to say me.
Lions, they don't compare themselves with humans.
But the guy at number 18 did something even more shocking. During a match in the AFC Champions League, Cristiano Ronaldo was awarded a penalty after he was fouled in the 18-yard box. But to the shock of everyone in the stadium, he told the referee it wasn't a penalty. Ronaldo turning down a penalty?
What?
I must be dreaming. That's like me saying no to a night with Kim Kardashian. But at number 17, Jude Bellingham showed there's more to life than just pretty women. It was a wet and cold night at Wembley, the kind of rain that'll have you tucked in bed. And yet England had to play a match against Belgium. But while the rest of the players walked out holding their mascots, Bellingham had to push his with a wheelchair. Why should the kid have been brought out in such conditions? Well, Bellingham thought the same thing too, and gave the kid his jacket so he could keep warm. Now that's a memory that kid won't forget for the rest of his life. In the same way, Ronaldo will always remember April 19, 2022. On this day, Ronaldo was supposed to face Liverpool at Anfield, but after the tragic loss of his newborn child, the club gave him time off to mourn.
It is with the deepest sadness we have to announce that our baby boy has passed away. Only the birth of our baby girl gives us the strength to live this moment with some hope and happiness. Our baby boy, you are our angel. We will always love you.
This is with me. It's something that I want to hold for the rest of my life. And pass through in that moment was probably the most difficult moment that I had in my life, me and my family especially.
But in the 7th minute of the match, the Liverpool fans dropped rivalries aside to show their love and support for Ronaldo.
This is a great moment where Anfield rises in support of Cristiano Ronaldo. This fan-led minutes applause, certainly not just the Manchester United fans, all of the Liverpool fans right the way around Anfield. Football comes together, everybody in football knows what's really important, and that is what has happened to Cristiano Ronaldo, and that's a wonderful moment of support for our number 7 with a minute's applause.
Damn, this almost made me shed a tear. In the same way, the next guy made a ball boy cry. In a match between Fulham and Bournemouth, the goalkeeper was in a rush to get the ball back in play. But when the ball boy wasted time, he grabbed the ball and shoved the kid aside. Now the fans saw all that happen and started to boo him. And when he realized he actually messed up, he went back to the kid and apologized. But as cool as this was, it's nothing compared to what Lukaku did at number 14. Back in 2017, the match between Benfica and Manchester United was a dream come true for Miles Villar. At just 18 years and 52 days, he became the youngest goalkeeper in Champions League history. But what was supposed to be a crowning moment quickly turned into a disaster. After making a couple of decent saves throughout the match, the defining moment came when United won a free kick towards the left-hand touchline. Marcus Rashford whipped a cross into the area, but in a bid to catch the ball, Miles carried the ball into his own goal.
He's gone for goal himself here. Has he carried it in? Yes, he has.
That mistake cost his team the match, and after the final whistle was blown, Miles was visibly upset. Realizing how sad the kid was feeling, Lukaku approached him and encouraged him like they were teammates. Fair play to Lukaku for such a show of sportsmanship, but the player at number 13 saved his opponent's life. During a match between Newcastle and Cardiff, a ferocious shot by Rondon knocked Bennett flat to the ground. While the referee had no right to stop the game, Rondon saw the state Bennett was in and kicked the ball out despite being in a good scoring position.
For Hayden, this time for Rondon. Straight in the face of Bennett, who might be in some trouble here.
Well, he had secured possession there, Rondon, and he kicked.
He raises his arm.
This proves that kindness is a choice that everyone can make. But wait till you see what the player at number 12 did. In a match between Elfsborg and Feyenoord, Simon Strand mistakenly knocked down a camera and the operator all in one go. But instead of checking to see if everything was right, he simply walked away like nothing had happened.
What the hell?
Seeing the camera woman struggling, Ali Reza rushed to the woman's aid and helped her tilt the heavy camera in place. If only Simon were kind enough in the first place. But at number 11, Lionel Messi fulfilled a young child's dream. After the match between Betis and Barcelona, Andrés Guardado requested a picture with Messi, not for himself, but for his little son, who was a huge fan of the Argentine. But when the kid finally saw the GOAT, he couldn't contain his excitement. Messi, in turn, held the boy, took pictures, and gave him a memory he'll cherish for the rest of his life. But now that we've made it to our top 10, things are about to get more dramatic, like the time Madrid fans gave Ronaldinho a standing ovation, and the time two players carried a player with no legs. But before we get to that, we have to see another guy consoling his son on the pitch. After Brazil and Croatia stunk up the World Cup for 120 minutes, the match went to penalty shootouts to decide who would progress to the semi-finals. First in line was Rodrigo, but the Real Madrid striker missed. Unfortunately for him, the Croatians didn't miss a single penalty, meaning they knocked Brazil out of the World Cup. Heartbroken and devastated, Croatia's captain, Luka Modric, halted his celebration to ensure Rodrigo was okay. However, the coach at number 9 deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. Maybe not that, but something close. In the 73rd minute of the match between Aston Villa and Leeds United, Jonathan Kodija collapsed to the ground in desperate need of attention. Seeing their teammate in distress, the Villa players stopped to ensure he was okay. But because the referee had not halted the game, the Leeds players scored. Much to the frustration of their opponents. With things about to kick off really fast, the Leeds manager decided to settle the matter by doing this. But did you know this wasn't the only time something like this happened? This time, it was in the Scottish League. In a match between Rangers and Partick Thistle, Malik Tillman overstretched his leg and suffered an injury. Out of goodwill, his opponents put the ball out so he could be attended to. But instead of returning the ball to them according to fair play rules, Tillman went on to score. The Thistle players wanted to jump Tillman so badly. This was the same dude they had been kind enough to help just a few minutes prior. But out of his wisdom, the Rangers manager asked his boys to give the goal back.
Unchallenged. If he can beat the Rangers goalkeeper eventually, he does. It's 2-0
And since we're talking about players getting freebies, the guy at number 7 got the best retirement gift. In his last game as a professional footballer, Lars Bender was brought on as a substitute to take a penalty his teammates had just won. But in a bizarre show of sportsmanship, the opposition goalkeeper allowed him to score the penalty uncontested.
His first game since January. This is Lars Bender, and Lars Bender scores. It's a consolation goal, but what a story. Off the bench for one last time.
While this was all fun and touching, the player at number 6 was literally saved by his opponents. The incident occurred during a match between Sevilla and Manchester United. Lisandro Martinez had just collapsed to the ground in desperate need of help.
condition. Lisandro Martinez is down, requiring attention.
Seeing him in a bad state, 2 Sevilla players took him off the pitch to the applause of fans all around the stadium. But at number 5, a prodigal son was welcomed back to the Camp Nou. Back in 2010, Barcelona welcomed Milan to their stadium for their annual Joan Gamper Trophy. Amongst the Milan team was Ronaldinho, a former Barcelona player and legend of the club. Having left in controversial circumstances, this was his first time back in the stadium, and his old teammates were happy to see him. After winning the match, Barcelona's captain invited him over to take pictures with the team, a gesture that showed they still loved and respected what he had done for the club. But at number 4, a player shocked the entire stadium with his undiluted honesty. During a match between Werder Bremen and Nuremberg, the referee awarded a penalty after Hunt was brought down in the 18-yard box. But in an unexpected show of sportsmanship, Hunt approached the referee and told him it wasn't a penalty.
This deserves a lot of respect. Bremen's Aaron Hunt puts himself forward for the FIFA Fair Play Award.
To think he did this when VAR didn't exist is crazy, but not as impressive as getting an ovation at the Bernabeu. The dislike between Barcelona and Real Madrid is as old as football itself. These rivals simply do not like each other. But in 2005, one player rewrote the history books. That man was Ronaldinho. After scoring an incredible goal at the Bernabeu, Ronaldinho couldn't believe his eyes when 2 Madrid fans rose to applaud him. Soon enough, the entire Madrid fans rose to their feet to applaud a man who was simply too great to be hated. This is a gesture we might never see happen again. However, one thing that needs to be done more often is for players to take a stand against discrimination. In a match between Bayern Munich and Hoffenheim, Bayern quickly rushed into a 6-0 lead. However, despite being in such a position, the Bayern fans targeted the Hoffenheim owner using offensive banners. Seeing this, the referee ushered the players off the field, and when they re-emerged, they passed the ball amongst themselves until time ran out.
The protest of 22 professional sports people against some pure stupidity.
We need to see this more often. Teams uniting to combat the problems that plague football to this day. But now, it's time for the moment we've been waiting for. The time a player showed 100% sportsmanship. After the match between South Africa and Brazil at the 2010 World Cup, a young fan ran onto the field to meet some of his favorite Brazilian players. But before he could get to them, the stewards quickly caught up with him. As he was being taken off the field, Neymar saw them and requested that the boy be allowed to come. What happens next is one of the most touching scenes you'll ever witness. But as touching as this was, football is sometimes filled with immense sadness, like the time Liverpool lost one of their players and one of the most devastating helicopter crashes in history. Click the next video to see the most emotional moments in football history.